I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
Getting to the point, but taking the scenic route to get there. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Hey, what's happening? Happy Monday. Good afternoon and welcome. This is the Bottom Line on 100.7 The Score, 107thescore.com, and the 100.7 The Score mobile app. Brought to you, as always, by our friends at Happy State Bank. We are watchable on television, Fox 34 News Now. And on YouTube, check out the Double T Sports Network there. Blazing into the First United Bank studio is Chris Snead. I'm Chois Woodman. Clint Scott across the way taking care of us. You can also hit us up if you'd like to. Your thoughts, your comments, your questions, all of it welcome on the Yates Flooring Center chat line through that 100.7 The Score mobile app. Take that app just about anywhere with you, even listening out in Backbone, Virginia. Ayo Sneeder.
What's up?
That's exuberant.
Man.
You're here.
Coming in unverifiably hot.
Yeah, but you're here. So we're good. We've got plenty I want to get into. My computer wants to get into it as well. Over the next hour, 2, 3,
4.
We're going to hang an extra one?
Sure.
I'm sure Clint would be fine with that.
Cletus.
That would be okay if we went for 4 hours.
Clintock.
Well, he's got to be here 6 straight either way, but so.
I do. It's true.
So, I mean, he probably doesn't care whether it's you're not going to be here for 4 hours.
No.
Okay. We will talk about Texas Tech football. We will talk about one of the worst rankings I've ever seen in my life.
Is it a preseason ranking?
Yes and no.
Is it a way too early preseason ranking?
It's a quarterback ranking, actually. So it's not way too early. You kind of know what teams have at that thing. So we will get into leaks. You a fan of the leaks?
Leaks?
Yeah.
Like water leaks?
I was going with the vegetable there, but
leaks?
Yeah.
Vegetable leaks?
Do you not know of the vegetable leaks?
I feel like I should.
I'm not messing with you. There is a vegetable called a leek.
Looks like a big green onion.
Yeah. It's pretty well what it is.
Okay.
I guess it didn't taste the same, but it's used primarily by Asian food people, right?
Yes, I think it's
Yeah, I mean,
usually in soups and stuff like that.
Yeah. So, no, I'm talking schedule leaks in particular, because we're getting some schedule leaks out there for the NFL schedule. Okay. Not water leaks, not leaks. So I assume you've never had leaks, or not that you know of.
I mean, if I've had a leak, I didn't know.
You are getting pretty old, Snead. So. Sorry.
Wow.
I couldn't help myself on that one. Couldn't help myself. We'll get into some Michael Jordan talk.
Okay.
Did you see the news?
No, what did he do? I had a UFL game yesterday. I flew home last night. I got home.
The Michael Jordan news is within the last hour or two.
I got home at midnight. I got up this morning. I've been head down grinding at the office, and I was talking to a potential student, and then I said, "Oh, I gotta go." I said, "Hate to let y'all go, but I gotta go."
So Michael Jordan has been announced as a analyst / contributor for NBA on NBC with their new TV deal with the NBA.
Oh, okay.
That's kind of a big deal.
Kind of like Derek Jeter at Fox, huh?
Yeah, except bigger. No offense to Jamie Lent. A lot bigger.
I mean, that's kind of. I mean,
Jeter's a big deal, but he's not the best that ever played the game.
No, but he's a GOAT.
I guess it's more like
he's a baseball GOAT.
No, people overuse the term GOAT. He's not. There's no the GOAT.
He's a GOAT.
It's the GOAT, the greatest of all time.
Greatest of all time.
That's up there on my
greatest of all time.
My most annoyed things, and it's probably old man, yelling at the clouds type of stuff. But
NIT tournament.
Yeah, no, it's just people use the term GOAT all the time for things that aren't the greatest of all time.
If you aren't the greatest of all time, can you be the GOAT?
No. No, you can be
Who's the GOAT?
You could be the GOAT of a category.
Who's the GOAT?
Well, in the NBA, it's Michael Jordan.
Or is it Bill Russell?
No, it's Michael Jordan. Sorry.
I mean,
Bill's won a lot of rings, but
he had a lot of more rings.
Yeah, that's what I said. He's won a lot of rings, but he wasn't better than Michael Jordan. And again, we're crossing generations, eras, so
that's why I kind of get this. How can you say that Michael Jordan is the GOAT when he never played against anyone like Bill Russell?
Because the same way other people can say Bill Russell's the GOAT.
That's to say. You're proving my point. Bill Russell can't. You can't say the same thing.
But no one says Derek Jeter is the greatest of all time. No one even says he's the greatest shortstop of all time.
Who is?
Honus Wagner. I never saw play. There are people that believe that. It just depends if we're going defensive shortstop or whatever. I'll take Ozzie Smith's defense. I'll take there's all sorts of. We can save our GOAT conversations for the summertime because MJ.
That's interesting.
Yeah. It's PGA Championship week for anybody out there. Probably more interested in this area just because Ludwig Åberg's presence there.
Aubert,
my bad. I mixed up the two. The American.
You went.
Aberg and Aubert, a hybrid there. So I was wrong times two. I apologize.
I like how it says it.
Tech
Aberg
softball
here, Aubert there.
Yeah. Tech softball, they're pretty good. They get to play in Lubbock another time this weekend.
Who's the 5 seed?
Florida State.
So they win, they get to go to Florida State.
Assuming Florida State wins theirs. Softball seems very chalky most of the time, though.
Yeah.
It's. I think women's college sports in general, it's not 100%, but there's less parity in women's college sports than there are men's college sports by quite a bit. You can predict the women's NCAA basketball tournament a lot better than you can predict the men's. Softball, you can predict that pretty well. Just look at the brackets and the seeds. There's a lot more chalk going on in women's college sports than we have in men's. You got the bottom line. We'll get some more of your thoughts from the Yates Flooring Center chat line and headlines for you coming up next on 100.7 The Score.
Getting to the point, but taking the scenic route to get there. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Thanks for hanging out with us on a Monday. You got the bottom line on 100.7 The Score and 107thescore.com, 100.7 The Score mobile app. We will continue to dive into some of your thoughts, comments, questions on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Lots to get to over the next 2.5 hours. This one says, Russell was the GOAT of his era, but Jordan is the one true GOAT. I'm sure Snead has had... Anybody else want to go with that word? I don't even want to attempt it.
Vichyssoise.
Because Shelly will make fun of me.
That's Vichyssoise.
Okay. Are there leaks in that?
Apparently. I'm not saying I've never had it. I'm just saying I didn't know I was eating it.
Okay. Far less parity in women's college sports than men's, for sure.
This is true, and I mean, and I keep hearing this comparison. Now, is this somebody said, how is it that softball was able to raise $1 million? That was a unique situation where we had a former softball player with means, and said, "Hey, I want to make sure this happens," and that happened.
If you donate right now to the Matador Club, the vast majority of that money is going to go to football or basketball. Football, then basketball, men's basketball.
Mm-hmm.
You have to make a specific donation. So you have to have donors that do exactly that. Mm-hmm. Have a specific donation of, hey, here's my money, but it can only go towards this sport. So that's what happened with softball. Pretty easy to read, to be honest.
Yeah, it's not
a complicated matter. It was John Sellers and his wife said, hey, we want Nigeri Kennedy here. And then
they actually, it wasn't something that the university did. It was something that they did.
No, they did that.
Because that was a true NIL deal.
So they did that. You get the best softball player in the country. You also get a coach with some good players that follow him. And you've got a heck of a team right now that might be playing his best softball of the year, too.
By the way.
Pretty hot team going into the postseason. So that's how you do that.
I mean, you look at baseball and you say, we were on the front end of that. We were all excited a couple of years ago. Hey, all our players are going to get $10,000, and we were all excited about that.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden,
like,
2 years later, you play in TCU, and TCU's got 3 guys on the roster making more individually than your entire roster. And so you're like, okay.
Yeah, like, Texas A&M paying $15 million. But did you see what happened to the Aggies? I'm going to revel in it. I don't care if Tech lost 2 of 3 this weekend. I'm going to roll around.
A&M's had a up and down. For what they paid, they've had an up and down year.
They were the consensus number 1 in the preseason. Mm-hmm. Every poll had A&M at number 1. They spent reportedly $15 million on a roster for baseball.
This is after Schlossnagel left. And then there was a team named Missouri that came into College Station. I think this was in College Station. Yeah, sure. and that team, by the way, had none wins.
Maybe
in the SEC.
It wasn't in College Station. Either way,
they had none wins in the SEC.
How about 0-24? 0-24. Missouri came in and swept Texas A&M this weekend.
Stop it.
They swept them. Talk about a bad weekend.
Did you see?
They won 10-1 in the finale.
Did you see Kendall Rogers back and forth on Twitter with A&M fans?
Oh, no, I did not.
I really enjoyed this. He just posted just something, very much like that's crippling at this time in the year for Texas A&M. And a bunch of A&M fans were, oh, did you see how Florida got in there in the exact same spot? And all he responds with is, at this point, or on selection, during the selection show, Florida came in with an RPI of 30. Texas A&M sits with 50, and there was rage across Twitter. It was very fun.
And there's rage towards their coach right now, where they may make a coaching change
now.
Well, for the second year in a row, obviously Schlossnagel leaves them, and they're like, well, we didn't get the right guy.
This was the top assistant, and he stayed back. He was going to go with Schlossnagel, and then he stayed back and took the job, and now they're spoiling the drain.
A&M, here's what's on the line for A&M. They are at risk of becoming the first preseason number 1 to miss the NCAA tournament completely since 1991.
Hey, A&M, come on in, man. The water's fine, man. Come on in.
I'm telling you, it absolutely stinks here to go through what you're going through in baseball, but it's worse in College Station.
And think about this.
It is.
You were consensus preseason number 1. You were a game away from winning a national championship, and now you're going to fire your coach, and you're not going to make the tournament.
It's pretty rough.
Wow.
You know what? Hey, we're going to make the tournament. We're going to go win the Big 12.
I'm going down there. Hey.
What stinks about the baseball weekend?
I said it on Friday, and I'm going to take a little blame for this. I said on Friday, let me dream with me, everyone. Dream with me. And I was
dream a little dream.
Yeah. And I was putting it out there to dream,
Okay.
I got,
Okay. Well, here's the deal. What stunk about this weekend You've lost some series over the last month. You lost at Arizona State to a good team. You lost at West Virginia to a team. You gave them their first conference loss in 15 games, West Virginia. But largely for the last month or so, you have been playing better, playing better baseball. It was
this weekend.
Pretty clear. And that's what stinks about this last weekend against UCF is you took a step backwards. Yeah. You had been moving in the right direction. Now, I'm not sunshine pumping and saying, no, you were going anywhere.
This team was
you
playing
were
better.
Going to be able to do something. But you were clearly playing better. You had better starting pitching. It was a better baseball team than we had seen early in the season. But this past weekend was a step backwards, and that's what was frustrating about seeing what you did against UCF.
And here's the reason why Tech fans don't get all lost. If you there have been teams who have been wretched in the regular season. You go back to it was like 2004 Fresno State makes a run all the way to the College World Series. What was it, a 2017, 2018 Cal team that was on the verge of being dropped after the end of the baseball season? They're going to drop baseball.
Yeah.
And these guys, they won the Pac-12 tournament.
They did.
Got in.
Sure.
Make a run to the College World Series. There's opportunities. Where if you can get hot at the right time of the year, you can make a run. I mean, when you get to the tournament, the Big 12 tournament sets up well. It's a single elimination. You get hot for 4 days. I mean,
yeah.
And I was talking about dreaming. Hey, you go and you win 6 conference games and you get yourself into that 4th position, and all of a sudden you're only playing 3 games. Now you're gonna have to win 4. But I mean,
look,
you can do it.
It is doable, and it would have been near impossible had it not been the single elimination format. But now that it's single elimination, it's doable.
You can do it with 4 pitchers.
Will you do it? I'm not going to sit here and tell you will. But
think of what you have to have. Connor Mohan, going to need you to go out there and have a career game on that first night.
So, look, and that's where I was frustrated watching, or just frustrated with Tech this weekend, and it happens. You have off weekends, but you had been playing better baseball clearly prior to this past weekend against UCF, and they dominated you. They whipped you up and down. What I said this on the broadcast, Snead, something with UCF doesn't compute. They are the second best batting average team in the conference and the third best ERA team in the conference. Usually, if you're one or the other, yet they came into the series second worst in the league. Something doesn't compute.
What I was just going to say, if you go back and you look, it looks like they have a lot of games where pitching doesn't get a lot of offense help, and I guess when the offense doesn't get a lot of.
So you're saying they didn't play good complementary baseball?
T-shirt. When's T-shirt stand? They came in to Big 12 play, and they'd rattle off a lot of really nice wins, including beating Miami and Florida. They win the first series in conference play, and then after that, they get one, and you're sitting there with 3 conference wins, and who knew going into Tech all the way through Big 12 play, that would be half of their conference wins before this weekend. Just a strange season for the Golden Knights of Central Florida.
Knights were – it was a weird weekend. But it's a team that may lead the country in left on base. They leave a lot of runners on, but they didn't this weekend. And that stunk. And they hit a lot of home runs on Sunday. That helps too. It's the bottom line. We got plenty of your thoughts rolling in on the Yates Flooring Sitter chat line. We'll get to some more of that next on 100.7 The Score.
Bringing you the truth, or something like the truth. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
On to our numero dos. Hanging out with the Bottom Line on 100.7 The Score and 107thescore.com. 100.7 The Score mobile app, powered by Happy State Bank, and yours on the telly, Fox 34 News Now, as well as YouTube. Check out the Double T Sports Network there. Alongside Jamie Lint, I'm Chois Woodman. Clint Scott across the way taking care of us. You can also hit us up if you'd like to. Your thoughts, comments, questions, all of it welcome on the Yates Flooring Center chat line through the 100.7 The Score mobile app, which you can carry just about anywhere with you. Even listening out in Rising Star, Texas. You ever been there?
I have not.
Sounds like your kind of town.
Okay.
Such a rising star.
Good.
It's, I think, straight south of Cisco. You've definitely been to Cisco.
I have been to Cisco.
Okay.
I don't know that I've been straight south of it, though.
You've been, you probably called junior college games in Cisco, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Figured you had.
Mm-hmm. There's a cemetery. It's like right next to the football field.
I was about to say, most towns do have a cemetery, yes. But
And once we had a delay in the middle of a junior college football game at Cisco because 2 dogs ran out onto the field, and one was chasing the other one for certain reasons.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Yeah. So
I did not know where you were going with that story.
Yeah.
Oh, you went from cemetery to dogs. I'm like, did the dogs dig something up at the cemetery and carry it out onto the
I think
field?
one of them was feeling in the mood.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just one?
And so
That's not good.
Yeah.
If he says no, dog, you got to leave her alone.
bark means no.
Park means no. It could also mean yes, though, so I can get how that's confusing.
I don't know. So I had to watch the officials there at Cisco try to chase these 2 down, and whenever they would stop, there would be some action, and then they'd run away again.
Okay, then. Cisco. Oh, you've had some.
I was the
your
sideline.
junior college stories are usually pretty entertaining.
Yes, I was the sideline guy, but I made sure not to.
You didn't go tackle one of them?
They didn't involve me in any of the
Man.
activities. And I also did not try to go interview either one of them.
You should have.
Mm-hmm.
Did you try to interview Cam Newton when he was on the sideline?
I did not. I did not, for fear that I would get my microphone stolen.
Wait, I thought it was Jameis Winston that was stealing. No, Cam Newton was the computers.
Stole a bunch of laptops from
Yeah.
Florida.
And Jameis stole a bunch of crab legs. That's what
yeah.
that was.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we named Jamie after Jameis Winston. You know, Winston. Whatever.
Mm-hmm.
All right. We got nothing to top that. Might as well just wrap it up. We do have your boy MJ. Did you see this news?
I did see this news.
I love it. I think this will be really cool because it feels like MJ's been. He just hides a lot, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but he's very much not in the public eye very often at all.
Mm-hmm.
He'll come out for an event if North Carolina's playing in the Final Four or something. You'll see him in the stands, or he might be public 2 or 3 times a year, but it's a rarity. So
I have to tell you something. When I was reading the story about this today, I saw that he was the owner of the Charlotte Bobcats up until 2023. I didn't know he wasn't their owner anymore.
I remember when he sold.
I guess I forgot that.
Well, the Bobcats?
Bobcats? Were they not the Bobcats? Are they
They're the Hornets now.
Hornets, that's right. Hornets.
But he was the Bobcats
That's
for a
right.
while,
Mm-hmm.
and then they flipped over the Hornets.
I'm sorry, yeah.
No, you're good.
Yeah.
I know you're a big NBA guy, so
Huge. I don't know if this is. I'm excited just because, everybody loves Jordan. I don't think he's got a big personality. I don't know how good he's going to be at this.
who's with him?
I don't know.
And this isn't.
If you look at like the NBA on TNT, their coverage, right? Nobody remembers Kenny Smith.
not
okay?
often, no.
And he's the one that actually is by far the best, does the best analysis.
Sure.
They just want the big personalities and the big chuckles and all that.
And it's
that
usually pretty
personalities are pretty funny with Barkley and Shaq.
Yeah.
And they do dumb things and it's hilarious. And then there's Kenny Smith and nobody remembers him. He's boring, but he's by far the best analyst. I don't know what MJ is.
I don't either.
Yeah.
And it says he's a contributor. There's not a clear role defined for him yet. This isn't a every night thing like you get with the NBA show. I guess that's not every night, but so I'm curious to see what this goes like. But I just out of curiosity, that's what has me excited for it to see. Also the why. Why would Jordan do this? What in the world makes him want to do this right now at this point in his life?
I'm less surprised about this than I am Derek Jeter.
Really?
Yes, because Derek Jeter, forever wanted to be seen by no one, talked to by no one.
I get that.
I'm not saying he hated the media, but he didn't like.
I think Jeter was more about being around the game, like actually being around the game again.
Yeah, maybe so.
That would be my guess. Jordan has.
Well, maybe it's the same with him.
Well, he's been absent from this realm for a long time, and it's not a money thing. Some guys do this for, hey, I could use. Just supplement the income. Jordan doesn't need any money. He is as loaded as it gets for former athletes because his shoe brand just continues to
make him gazillions
get richer
now.
and richer every single year. So I'm
intrigued.
That was the first thing I thought was why does he want to do this now? But I'm excited because I'm a guy that barely got to see Jordan. Like when Jordan was
sad.
It really is.
Oh man.
Like, I remember the late Jordan. No, that sounds
80s,
like he's dead.
80s Jordan was, to me, the best, though.
I never got to see 80s Jordan because I was born in 1990. I didn't get to see the first championship run. I remember a little bit of the last one. Like, I can remember the shot against the Jazz, or against the Cavs. I can remember.
You barely even remember
Tony
Kukoc. That's so sad.
Who? I'm cuckoo for Kukoc. I think, so
80s Jordan was just a phenomenon that was, it was just unbelievable when he's putting up 60 in a playoff game against the Celtics, and the Pistons are beating him up, and he just keeps coming back, and they just knock him to the ground over and over again.
And I've watched
those slam dunk contest years in the late 80s were just. The NBA was never better and never will be, as far as I'm concerned, than it was during that stretch.
And I've watched the highlights. I've seen all this stuff, but it's just not the same as getting to see it.
Oh, man, it was so great.
I've watched The Last Dance, all of that.
Wanted the shoes, but they were $40, Choice. My parents laughed at me when I asked for those.
I remember.
$40 for a pair of shoes?
I kid you not, I don't think I spent more than $40 on a pair of basketball shoes until my senior year of high school. Then I got like $60 ones, and it was big timing. No, that was my junior year. Because my senior year, the team got the Nike Shox basketball shoes, and I was living in heaven. Then they broke.
I remember the first time I actually saw a pair of Jordans in like a Foot Locker or something. I don't remember. And it was just like...
You were like, I got to work here so I can get those. And he did. It's the bottom line. We'll get into lots of other stuff. There's the worst ranking I think I've ever seen in my life. Tic-tac-toe on the diamond. Plenty more to come. Right here on 100.7 The Score.
Bringing you the truth, or something like the truth. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
It's a Monday with the Bottom Line on 100.7 Score and 107thescore.com. 100.7 Score mobile app. You'll keep chiming in on the Yates Flooring Center chat line. Let's see. A couple thoughts. Bobby Hot Dog says if we could only get someone to stroke a check to baseball from the Woodman Endowment. It's sealed tight. I wish we could. I wanted a pair of $60 Nike running shoes in 1982. Had to wait for them as my 12th birthday present. That's from Lindale Jeff.
And they were how much? $60?
In 82?
Must have been.
That's like
really
$300
special.
now.
Yeah.
Holy cow. Were they diamond encrusted? Encrusted? I don't know what's right. Did you see the latest Portal commitment? I doubt it's the latest, but with a little local tie.
Okay.
Flavor. Ethan Duncan committed to become a Bison.
A Bison of?
Lipscomb.
Lipscomb.
So he went D1 to Lipscomb University.
Okay.
They were in the tournament this year, right? I believe. They made it to the NCAA tournament. I'm looking to Clint, but he doesn't know. Lipscomb basketball. I don't know. I think they were. Because I probably picked them in one of my brackets.
One of them.
One of the 600. This from the chat line. Mike Leslie says he's still a believer in the Texas Rangers this season. Do y'all still think this Texas Rangers team will make the playoffs? Sure I do. You floated around 500. Pitching it really well, but not hitting it worth a flip. And you've still got some of your best hitters that just need a break out of slumps. And Corey Seager has been hurt during that time. This team absolutely has the talent to make the playoffs. So we're a long, long ways away from burying anybody in Major League Baseball. That's not named the Rockies.
Especially in the division that you're in.
Yeah.
Nobody's running away with it.
Yeah. So I absolutely have faith that the Rangers will make the playoffs. You're pitching it as well as just about anybody. I mean, DeGrom has been on the field, on the mound, which is he's going to be great if he can stay healthy. And he's been healthy. Nathan Eovaldi is Cy Young worthy early on. Malley has been great. The rotation has been excellent for the Rangers. So if they can get the bats to catch up a little bit, and they seem like they're starting to break out some, then yeah, I think it's a good baseball team that just hasn't played that great of baseball yet. We'll see though. I think if you're a Rangers fan, definitely don't throw in the towel yet. Did you see what the Tampa Bay Rays gave away at their game this week? You're going to make a joke about to all 27 fans or something?
I'm just wondering because they're in the Yankees spring ballpark.
Okay, and it has a tie-in.
Okay.
Not to the Yankees. The Rays this past weekend had their first ever rain delay. Because they've played at Tropicana Field for all 27 years of their existence.
They never had one on the road?
The first one at home.
Okay.
First home game rain delay. So for that, they had commemorative ponchos to give out, ready to give out to all the fans, and they literally say on them,
the date of the first rain out?
First rain delay.
Awesome.
On the ponchos.
Awesome.
I think that's pretty cool.
That's funny. That's being creative. I like it.
And for the Rays, they probably knew, like, hey, we only got to make 2,000 of these things because that's all the fans that are going to be there, so don't have to worry about it.
Well, you can also just limit. There are limited supplies available.
Well, that's just mean. You get wet, but not you.
Well, you should have got here earlier and got in line.
Also fair. So, NFL schedule comes out Wednesday, Jamie.
Mm-hmm. Not all of it.
Well,
some of it's already out.
Yeah, we're getting the leaks. Do we call them leaks if the NFL themselves are
teases?
I guess teases is right. People are calling them leaks, and there are some leaks. But we learned today that the Dallas Cowboys will open the season against the Philadelphia Eagles on a Thursday night game.
Fly, Eagles, fly.
Please stop.
You're supposed to say, can you not?
Sorry. I was going to say do it again, but don't. Can you not? Thursday, September 4th, the Cowboys will open the season against the Eagles in Philadelphia. I'm not a big fan of this. And not for the same reasons as Chuck. I can get his argument a little bit.
Yeah, no, I can too.
Chuck says he doesn't like the division games early. I didn't like his comparison, but I think he said it was like playing a conference game early in like a Big 12 game to open, and that's not accurate because NFL games all matter equally. Conference games don't matter more than a non-conference game. So this, I think, why I don't like this, they're making the freaking Dallas Cowboys watch the Philadelphia Eagles raise a banner. Right? They're going to do this on opening night.
It's a tough deal, man.
It's really tough. Is this a shot towards the Cowboys, or is this just by chance of we want this matchup?
It's 100% about the Cowboys are a great draw. And so the opening night you want to put on the field a great matchup that people are going to be excited about.
Okay, you got part of it. I don't know if this is a great matchup. But,
people love the Cowboys.
People
and people
will
hate
watch.
the Cowboys.
People
right.
will watch.
Yeah.
But they're making the Cowboys watch the Eagles raise a banner.
Well, don't watch. Close your eyes, Choice.
That was the most New Yorker you've been in a while.
It's wicked fun.
Can you throw a forget about it in there?
Forget about it.
Thank you.
Just stay in the locker room.
I won't be in the locker room. I'll be watching that stinking game and cursing the Lent household for all their Eagle memorabilia and paraphernalia going around. And hoping that your kids
Just one of them. The
go
rest of
play
us don't have any
pickleball.
paraphernalia.
You don't have any Eagle stuff? I thought,
I
did she
own-
not buy you a jersey?
No.
Okay.
She let me borrow.
Okay, that's just as bad.
Yeah.
You put it on.
Yep.
It's like trying to say, well, I didn't inhale, officer.
But I'm not spending my money on it. I wouldn't do that to the Bills.
Okay.
I'm too loyal.
Totally loyal.
But I would put a jersey on.
Oh, gracious. I did not like when I saw that and realized, oh, yeah, they're going to get to raise the championship banner.
Yeah, but that's all. I think you're overplaying that.
Am I?
It's just the matchup.
It's
the
my
Cowboys
least
are a great
favorite
draw.
team.
The Cowboys are a great draw.
I think if you polled Dallas Cowboy fans, the Eagles would be there. It would be probably 75% would say they're the most hated team right now.
Okay, I understand that, but just
So, it's a great draw. I don't think the NFL.
Just don't watch that part.
Well, I doubt it.
Do you ever
Or have your team win the Super Bowl so they don't have the
Stab.
chance to
Yeah.
raise
Do
a
you
banner.
ever watch sporting events with the volume down because you know they're going to be pontificating about the other team so much it's going to make you nauseous?
I never start that way. I do get to the point where the volume goes down.
Yeah.
Like, there have absolutely been events where I'll turn the volume down. Oklahoma State baseball is one where I usually watch that one with the sound down.
That's just
So I guess maybe I do start that way.
that's just
No, I usually turn the radio broadcast on with that. I've gotten to where I'll sync up the radio broadcast quite a bit.
okay.
I mean, it's probably half the time with
'Cause
basketball.
I have to do that at times, and
Yeah,
I think it's my days of working in a restaurant while games were on that I was wanting to watch, and so I'd watch by the TV. So I'm used to watching sports without the volume
so
on.
you can go without any sound.
Absolutely.
I can to an extent, but I would rather, if I can put the radio on, I'll do that. If I can sync it up, I cannot stand when it's out of sync.
Oh, sure.
It is the bottom line. We'll get to more of your thoughts, comments, questions on the Yates Flooring Center chat line coming up on 100.7 The Score.
Getting to the point, but taking the scenic route to get there. This is the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score.
It's a Monday with the bottom line on 100.7 The Score and 107thescore.com. 100.7 The Score mobile app and yours on the Telly Fox 34 News Now. Chois Woodman, Jamie Lent, Clint Scott across the way taking care of us. Y'all continue to chime in. We will return to a few of your thoughts in a moment, but right now let's get to a question.
Time now for Jamie's question of the day on 100.7 The Score. Brought to you by someone not named Jamie and presented by Connecticut of West Texas. Life's hard, your water shouldn't be.
Hey there, Jamie.
Yes, Choice.
Clint, our fine listening audience. I got a fairly simple question, but it is a leading question. Where does Texas Tech's quarterback situation rank amongst the rest of the Big 12? In your opinion?
That's a good question. Okay.
So I saw a ranking this weekend of Big 12 quarterbacks, and it was a nobody that put it together.
Nobody.
Well, it was someone with like 14,000 Twitter followers, but
Seems like a lot.
okay. But they did double down, or they did clarify after they got a lot of flack for their ranking, saying this was projection based.
Okay. Let me just run through here real quick.
I can give you the main or the projected quarterback for each spot if you want.
No, you're good. You don't have to do that.
You don't need my stuffs.
I think you're right in the middle of the pack.
Okay.
Maybe right in front of it.
I want
like seventh.
I want to change my question. Is that allowed? I want you to tell me where he is now and where you think he will be after the season.
I think he's seventh now. And I'll say he's going to end up, fifth.
Okay. Clint?
I think I have him at sixth right now. And I think that, like, you could convince me either way, like 4 through 10, to be honest. Maybe not that far back. Maybe like 4 to 8. You could mix this up. And I think Baron Morton is somewhere in that mix right now. I think when it's all said and done, I think he's going to end up at 3rd to 4th.
Okay.
Okay.
I am in lockstep with you two guys, which is a dangerous place to be.
Which is weird since we're not the same.
Yeah, we threw out different numbers there, Choice.
I would say 6 or 7 is what I would have said. 6. I'll go 6 because I'm Homer. And I think he will finish as the 3rd best quarterback in this league.
Okay. Closer to you, Clint, than me.
But the hard thing is, I couldn't tell you who would be in front of him at the end of the year. I mean, I think there's several candidates.
Well,
I think there's several candidates.
Well, here's where I think he can make up ground, right? What does Iowa State Leavitt look like without a dominant back?
Arizona State. Yeah.
What did I say?
Iowa State. Yes.
Yeah, Arizona State. I'm sorry. What does he look like without being able to rely on that strong run game? And teams don't have to, be worried about that. So what does Rocco Becht look like without his top 2 receivers? Okay.
Matters. Yep.
I'm just not sold on Avery Johnson, but I fully will admit to you that I think part of it's the hair.
At least you're not hiding your biases on appearance.
I can't.
You can't look like a Barbie and be good at football.
You know what? If he wants to play 80s music, I bet he's great at it. If he wants to be a skateboarder, I bet he's awesome at it. I just can't think a guy's going to be awesome at quarterback with that hair.
This is the most old man, get off my lawn you've ever been, and you've had some moments.
Tell me one guy with that hair that's been a great quarterback.
Trevor Lawrence.
His was not curly.
I don't think Avery's is curly. It's not as straight as Trevor Lawrence's. Trevor's was more girly, to be honest.
I disagree wholeheartedly.
I don't think.
He's curly like he's Annie or something.
I think Avery Johnson's got a.
I'm not going to defend Avery Johnson here, but it's not like he's waking up with like
Clint.
curlers in his hair. And
Are
he's
you
curling
sure?
it.
Please make
Are
Clint
you sure?
defend.
Are you
I want Clint so badly to defend Avery Johnson right here. Say more things about him.
Well,
Are you certain, Clint?
I'm not a believer in Avery Johnson, not because of the hair, because he can't throw the ball downfield. And now you're going without one of their top running backs.
Yes.
And I thought he took a huge step back, even from his freshman year last year.
None of these things I disagree with. I believed all of those things as well.
The hair
is
really
just
bothers.
another part.
Yeah.
So
I'm not sold on Avery Johnson, the actual quarterback.
Yeah.
And they're going to have a monster year out of Dylan Edwards, or he take a monster step forward in the passing game for them to be not competitive in the Big 12, but compete for a spot in Arlington.
So I got a little triggered by this list, to be honest. And it's doing its purpose. It's getting someone like me to talk about it.
Did they put a bunch of SEC quarterbacks ahead of Baron Morton on the Big 12 quarterback list?
Well, they put the Colorado quarterback situation of two different quarterbacks ahead of Baron Morton. They put Baron Morton at 13 out of 16.
Yeah, and wasn't he really low last year too?
On one list, I think we saw. There's
Wasn't
another
like
one out there.
14 last year on one of them?
I think so. There's another one out there that I saw from Athlon Sports that has Baron at 7. So right where we're talking about.
And Jalen Daniels is super talented. We just don't know which one we're going to get.
Yes, because he cost his team games early in the season, and he helped them win games late in the season. Mm-hmm. So they have – this is sleeper college football, if anybody wants to follow for bad information. Sam Levitt 1. That's popular. Jake Retzlaff at 2. I think he's good. I don't think he's the second best.
I think that's a guy that I think is in the same area as far as I'm concerned with Barron.
I don't disagree.
I had him. He's in that group. He and Avery Johnson are the ones I'm looking at. Like, I think Barron will pass these guys up.
Agreed.
But preseason, just from the work that has been done, they've led their team to a little bit more. So I think they have to be in front.
I also don't think Sam Levitt will be looked at as the best quarterback in this league when the season's over. I don't know who it's going to be. I just think he's getting way too much credit after one season, and he had a big crutch to lean on.
The thing, though, with him is no one's really noting that Jordan Tyson is still coming back.
He is back, and
he's a legit weapon.
He's probably the best receiver in the league returning.
And also, he was good with his legs, too. It's not like he was just a good quarterback because all he did was step back and either hand it off to Scatabo or,
I think he's still going to be in the conversation, Choice.
I think he'll be in the conversation, but I don't think he's going to be just clear-cut number one like everybody's making him out to be. And partially because we judge quarterbacks on wins, and I don't think they'll win as much.
I do think it's fair to start him there, though. If we're doing the where are you starting him right now.
Because there's not another clear one, I don't disagree with you. Yeah, there's not a clear, okay, this guy should be ahead of him. I think he's slotted into that top spot by default by a lot of people. So fair is probably right. They have Rocco Becht at 3, Connor Wegman, the A&M transfer from Houston at 4.
Give me a break.
Yeah, that one's the dumbest, or one of the dumbest here. They had Sawyer Robertson.
See, I told you they had an SEC quarterback ahead of Baron
You're
Morton.
right! They had Sawyer Robertson all the way down at 10.
Sawyer Robertson, another SEC quarterback.
That's right.
I think he's a top three or four quarterback to start the season.
Yep.
This has been the Bottom Line Podcast from 100.7 The Score. Go to 100-7thescore.com for more from the Double T Sports Network.